Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. I hope you're all doing well. Look, ICE is roughing them up pretty hard these days. I even got a clip in here of them slamming a white woman. So, look, they are getting rougher. Now, when you recall back in, I think it was either July or August, they had put out there that they wanted to hire ICE agents, 100,000. And they were lowering the requirements. You didn't even have to be, in your 30s or 40s. They were taking you as young as 18 to 40. And later, I saw an article where they were saying a lot of the applicants were white nationalists. That part I am not surprised about. They're usually drawn to, police work. ICE is really nothing but the police, it's just another branch. And also, these cops that have been fired for misconduct, those are the kind of people applying for ICE. Well, lately people are noticing how aggressive these ICE agents have become, very aggressive. And yeah, Swift, yeah, like the Proud Boy types. Yeah. So we know they want the kind of people that are heartless, especially if you don't look like them, then they're not going to show 1 ounce of compassion. They do it in policing, and that is just going to fall over into ICE. They don't care. They don't care how they got to rough you up and what they have to do to you because it's already happening in Chicago. So when I show you these clips, you're going to see it is no doubt it has gotten that way. Now, you know how they used to arrest our men. It would be damn near 10 cops on one melanated man, right? Well, now they're starting to do that to the immigrants. They'll have one down on the ground, and you're going to see about 10 cops all around kneel down on this guy. So they're starting to do that same stuff you see in policing over in ICE. Now they do a pile on when they are taking someone down to put hand those zip ties on them. Yeah, they're starting to do that now with ICE. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that these cops are turning up. It has gotten so bad in Chicago, y'all, with them roughing up everybody. A judge recently told ICE they have to wear body cams. So they are now equipped with body cams because the violence and the aggressiveness from ICE agents have gotten that bad. So they're doing the same thing with ICE that they had to do with the police nationwide. But see, these cops used to get all slick. They would all of a sudden, just before things jumped off, their body camera would come off of them. Or some of them had the ability to switch them off just before they would do something or even unalive somebody. So they had all kinds of slick ways of getting around, and I'm sure these ICE agents are going to be pulling a thing or two themselves. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Okay, please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Just like the cops, they're breaking all kinds of laws just to get people. It's no different. I mean, all of these agencies function the same way. Thank you.
Judge ruled that immigration agents in Chicago must now wear body cameras. The decision comes after the judge said she saw tear gas like this situation on the east side. She also cited other tactics used against protesters during TV coverage. It also happened to journalists outside of the ICE facility in Broadview. The judge previously said agents needed to wear ID badges and ban them from using certain riot control techniques against peaceful protesters and journalists.
Immigration crackdown in Chicago. A judge wants to require federal ICE agents to wear body cameras. This follows multiple complaints about excessive force, including an incident in Chicago this week where agents deployed tear gas on protesters. The judge said she was startled by the video of such tactics. The Department of Homeland Security called the potential order an extreme act of judicial activism. It comes as an appeals court upheld a block on Trump sending National Guard troops to the state, rejecting White House arguments. The panel, which includes a Trump appointee, wrote, "Political opposition is not rebellion."
Whoa, whoa. You don't know what's going on. Yeah, they're doing their job while they're covering their mess.
Y'all, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to switch a video because for some reason you can't hear the voices. That young man down on the ground was screaming, "I'm an American citizen. I'm an American citizen." And that ICE agent with the gray hair, he was the one that just snatched him and took him down. And he heard his voice. He doesn't even have an accent. And he just kept right on going. I said, "See, what you're looking at are the tactics they're going to try to get away with roughing up brothers and ignoring the fact that they hear your voice and they know damn well you didn't come from some foreign land. And it's just going to be an excuse to get their hands on black men and then play like they didn't know you weren't an immigrant." So hold on, y'all. Just hold on. Let me stop this stream. I'm going to pull another video and all right, I'm going to stop this stream. I'm going to switch out this video because I got one with, I didn't realize this one did not have great volume, but I will get another one that does. Okay, here we go. Is this one? All right. All right, look like I'm going to have to download it, but that's okay. I don't know why the sound is not on there because I played this thing back and there's definitely sound on here. Because, you know, on the video, my original video, you could hear what that brother was saying to them. I think this is it. You could hear, you know, plain and simple, he didn't have no accent or nothing, but that cop conveniently ignored him. But again, remember, they got these white nationalists, and you know they don't care how they handle our people. They never care. So this is what they're doing in Chicago. This is really the first time I've seen them do this, but these folks are so sneaky. You don't know what they've been taught behind the scenes. They could have been told to do this stuff because in policing, with all the stuff they do with us, you have your hands up and they pew pew you anyway. That's all told to them. They're told to do that stuff. And being that they hate us, it's easy for them to do it. Well, it looks like the same tactics may be used for ICE. This is my opposition. in this whole thing, just watching it. Once this is downloaded and you can hear sound, I want y'all to pay close attention to that young brother and what he's saying to the ICE agent, and he's just ignoring him. And first of all, why not just ask him for ID? Why do you got to tackle him all down to the ground, get all on his back and everything, when you could have just said, "Can you show me some ID?" Nothing. You know? In the meantime, you could tell he's very young, and that's the reason why they did this to him. You notice they didn't get an older brother. No, they got some little somebody probably barely 18 doing it to somebody like that. I tell you, this place is so ridiculous. The other day I was looking at some Three Eye Atlas stories that were out, and I was looking in the comment section. And they were like, people were writing things like, "Three Eye Atlas, if you make it here, please come pick me up. I'm sick of this planet." I was like, damn. And then I saw another one that said, "Three Eye Atlas, if you make it here, please take Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and JD Vance." just take them. I said, boy, I tell you, it's almost like people are hoping that that spaceship will make it here. They are hoping for it, boy, big time. I can see us because we're tired of this captivity, but the Gentiles are saying it. I don't see how they're so tired of everything. You've had everything handed to you. Okay, it's almost downloaded. We're almost there. So, this has been interesting, and how Donald Trump is going to certain cities. And, there are lawsuits that the Trump administration got hit for, sending these National Guards and all these different agencies into certain areas. He's being sued for that. All cities are not taking it. Now, I don't think DC is, but I know Chicago is, and I think Memphis also got something filed against Donald Trump. So he ain't having it as easy as you think doing this stuff. Take Schumer too. Yeah, yeah. He's of no use to us anyway. Never have been. They can take Nancy Pelosi as far as I'm concerned. They can take her dried up looking ass too. Take Mitch McConnell. Oh my goodness, my list would be long. Take Mitch McConnell. You can take Byron Donalds. You can take my Senator Cory Booker. Man, I got a whole laundry. You can take Obama. We don't need him. Maxine Waters. Oh man. Tim Scott. Oh yeah. Oh, Swift, you ain't never lie. Yeah, they can come get him. They can snatch that old flat looking wife he got too. Come get both of them. Mhm. Yeah, I saw it. That old rickety man. He should have went somewhere and retired by now. But they are so hungry for power, they don't know how to retire. That's why he's still there. Mhm. All right. Let's see where it is. Okay, it's moving now. They can take Ben Carson too. See, I know I can long list. I know I got a long list. Take Ben Carson, and as far as I'm concerned, they really can take the whole Trump administration. He don't have nobody. And Tom Holman, he turning out to be a thief. He took a $50,000 bribe. And Donald Trump got his butt out of the whole thing, made the FBI drop the investigation again. I said, see, that's how y'all get out of crimes. Now, what that man did was a real crime, but Donald Trump made the FBI back off of Tom Holman. And I said, That's typical. It appears like you're not committing crimes, but you actually are. A lot of them. I don't know. Y'all, I don't think they would take I think even Three Eye Atlas wouldn't take Clarence Thomas. They would probably just throw him in a recycle bin or something. I don't want that old man. Hakeem Jeffries, man, that old scary dude. Oh, Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, they can take Marjorie Taylor Greene too. Larry Elders. Pam Bondi, yeah. Okay. I don't know what happened to this thing, but hey, I didn't do anything to it. Maybe that's just the way it uploaded. Okay, let's just start all over. Hopefully. All right. Give me a one if you see the screen. Okay.
Judge ruled that immigration agents in Chicago must now wear body cameras. The decision comes after the judge said she saw tear gas like this situation on the east side. She also cited other tactics used against protesters during TV coverage. It also happened to journalists outside of the ICE facility in Broadview. The judge previously said agents needed to wear ID badges and banned them from using certain riot control techniques against peaceful protesters and journalists.
Immigration crackdown in Chicago. A judge wants to require federal ICE agents to wear body cameras. This follows multiple complaints about excessive force, including an incident in Chicago this week where agents deployed tear gas on protesters. The judge said she was startled by the video of such tactics. The Department of Homeland Security called the potential order an extreme act of judicial activism. It comes as an appeals court upheld a block on Trump sending National Guard troops to the state, rejecting.
Now, the reason why they got in trouble for that, y'all, they deployed those tear gas canisters by a school where school children were. That's why that judge said, they were terrified by what they saw, because that was not far away from where children were. And they deployed multiple tear gas cans and didn't care.
Acting White House arguments. The panel, which includes a Trump appointee, wrote, "Political opposition is not rebellion."
Whoa, whoa. You don't know what's going on. Yeah, they're doing their job while they're covering their mess.
Hi, Mr. Holman. I'm from Chicago. And while I do appreciate all the hard work that the ICE officers have been doing, taking the worst of the worst, it seems to become more aggressive recently, probably in the past 2 months. A couple days ago, there's a large train station down the street from my house, and there were ICE officers 5 o'clock in the morning. And that's not always affecting just them. It's affecting regular citizens too. Delays, whatever. But I'm just curious why it's become so much more aggressive, and it seems in Chicago mostly.
Well, a couple of things. If it's aggressive, I don't know if I use that term, but there's 1,000% increase on attacks on ICE officers. Have you seen the media lately? There's bounties on their heads for $50,000 to kill one of them. So they're very careful in the way they do these operations. They got to protect themselves. So I want to use the term aggressive. They're using a lot more precautions when they approach somebody. Second of all, if the mayor wants less ICE agents on the streets of Chicago, then let us in the jail to arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of a jail, where it's safer for Chicago residents, it's safer for the ICE agents, and it's safer for the alien. It doesn't make sense to release a public safety threat who's in the country legally back into the public. They like to say, well, we're a welcoming community. We want victims and witnesses of a crime who are illegally in the United States to feel free to come to the police without fear of working with ICE. That is a bunch of crap. Because victims and witnesses of a crime don't want the bad guy in the neighborhood either.
Amy's question, though, how common is it for the Chicago authorities to release dangerous migrants back into the population?
Every day.
Common?
Every day.
You have stats on it?
Certainly we do. We got a number of detainees we issued that weren't honored. If you look at the number of criminals we wrestled off the streets of Chicago, ICE has made Chicago safer. The governor and the mayor should be calling President Trump and thanking him for taking public safety threats off that street. It makes the street safer for Chicago residents like yourself. No one's going to argue taking a criminal off the street doesn't make the community safer. I looked at the data this morning. There's over, there's about, between ICE and CBP, there's over about 530,000 removals. At 70%, you're looking at about 330,000 criminals that were removed from this country, which makes this country safer.
Senor, what identification ya? Senor, identification ya? Sure. Senor, let me ask you, have English or no?
I do.
Okay, all right. You have papers in the United States?
Have my ID, traffic license.
Okay, but you have any type of paperwork identifying yourself in the United States?
That's what I have.
Right. So, ¿de dónde eres, señor?
I'm from Guatemala.
You're from Guatemala. ¿Tiene papeles to be in Estados Unidos, sí or no?
Yes, that's what I have.
What type of papeles, señor?
I have my driving license and my ID.
Sí, legal.
That's what I have.
¿Cómo se? Vamos, let's go. Step up. No, step up. Vamos.
No,
señor, vamos. Vamos, step up. No,
can I pull out?
No, vamos, señor. Get up. Vamos, señor. Señor, legal, sí.
What about my wallet?
Now they have this man under arrest. How long have you been in the United States for? ¿Cuánto tiempo lleva aquí en los Estados Unidos?
About
I'm gonna want to arrest you up on the van.
I'm ready to speak. ¿Qué está pensando en este momento?
my glasses. About my glasses.
That's what worries you most?
Yes. Because I wear contact glasses.
Are you worried about being deported now?
I have right to remain silent.
You do have the right to remain silent.
We're here illegally right now, bro. I have my driver's license. No, ID. Right, so the driver's license doesn't give you any status here in the United States.
So he did have a driver's license, however, that does not give you legal status here inside the United States. So why did you detain him, and why did you make the arrest on him? Because you were asking for his papers. He said, I had my ID, driver license. What is that? What does that mean?
So he became targeted. We was doing research in regards to our databases, targeted information. So we had ran across Abraham. He was driving a vehicle. So we did our checks. In regards to our checks, we found out that he was legal in the country. We ran our databases. He had certain benefits going on, but that didn't preclude him from removal.
Even if you do have a driver license, that does not make you legal here?
No, not at all. So my approach, I approached the driver door. I wanted to see if he was going to admit to him being illegally here in the country. So I asked him if he had any type of paperwork in the country. He provided me state license, and that state license does not allow him to be have legal status inside the United States in Chicago, Illinois.
After this, will he be deported then, this guy?
For him, he's going to be called what we call an EWE, so therefore he'll be put in an NTA proceeding, 240 proceeding, and he'll be able to see a federal judge.
So,
or not, or a immigration judge. Sorry about that.
So an immigration judge will then decide whether or not he stays or goes. Yes.
ICE is completely out of control. Today they raided a Walgreens in Chicago, tackled a black man who's a U.S. citizen, and tear gassed an entire neighborhood. Let me know if this clip looks like law enforcement to you, because I see government-sanctioned assault on U.S. citizens.
Fuck out of here! Listen! He's not citizen! That's my brother-in-law! Get the fuck away from me! You don't know what's going on, so get the fuck back! Pick up!
That's right, they're raiding everyday places like Walgreens, and this store specifically had to close down for the rest of the day because of what they did. And they're recklessly tear gassing entire neighborhoods. Imagine how many children got impacted by that. These aren't isolated operations either. They're an entire campaign of fear. A campaign that turns federal power into a weapon against people of color and anybody else who dares to exist outside of Trump's narrow vision of what it means to be a real American. Imagine just trying to shop at a store and then several armed federal agents rush in with their faces covered and start tackling American citizens. That is reality. Then imagine going outside trying to take a walk when you're suddenly choking on tear gas inside of your own neighborhood. This is what Trump's militarized version of ICE looks like in 2025, and I hate to break it to you, but he's not going to stop. ICE was never supposed to be a political police force, but under Trump, that is exactly what they've become. They've completely blurred the line between immigration enforcement and fascist intimidation, targeting not just undocumented immigrants, but American citizens too. The message is clear: if you're black, brown, or outspoken, you're the target. Breaking news, the Department of Homeland Security just got caught telling a major lie. They claimed ICE agents only used force after being rammed by a fleeing driver, but newly obtained security footage is telling a much different story. Check this out.
From this video, you can clearly see the agents in the white SUV hit the red SUV. However, DHS says when agents tried to pull the vehicle over, instead of stopping, the driver tried to get away, slammed the agent's vehicle, then took off running. DHS says that's the reason they chased the pair.
The footage really couldn't be more clear. This is not an innocent mistake. This is another cover-up. These ICE agents initiated a dangerous, illegal collision, then tried to lie to justify it. These types of events are not happening in isolation either. They're actually very common. And they're taking place in crowded neighborhoods near cars, homes, and families. Innocent bystanders are being put at risk because untrained agents are escalating encounters instead of de-escalating them. And that's exactly why so many communities don't trust DHS or ICE at all anymore. Why would they? They abuse force, destroy property, and traumatize innocent people, then try to lie about the whole thing to cover it up. Accountability simply doesn't exist when these types of agencies are the ones policing themselves. But the most important question is, why do these agencies feel like they have to lie to us at all? Because admitting the truth would be admitting that ICE is not keeping neighborhoods safer, they're actually making them more dangerous. If they can't act lawfully, admit their mistakes, or tell the truth, they should not be operating in American cities.
47th and Western! 47 and Western! Politizado del hueso. Get the pity. Nueva 47 la Washington.
So earlier today, ICE was trying to detain an illegal immigrant, and they ended up getting into a car wreck. They had to jump out of the vehicle and go chase him down. And protesters and people in the community came out and attacked the ICE agents. Linda, let me show you what it looked like on the ground before we look at the news. But this is what it was like on the ground for these ICE agents, man. It's terrifying. Oh, felony. Go get him. Felony. Oh. They just attack them. They don't even know what's happening. They just attack them because they're ICE agents. They just saw this as an opportunity, really.
Coming in the house.
It's another felony. Go get them. Yeah, man. God bless our officers and our ICE agents out there, because they're under attack. And you have the leadership in Illinois and Chicago literally telling the people, go get them. It's crazy out here, man.
As words,
But this is what happened and what caused all that.
federal agents in the neighborhood, it came to a head. Some residents came out to confront them.
And that led to objects being thrown and tear gas being
Look at that,
deployed.
right in the head.
WGN's Andrea Medina joining us now with that part.
Y'all see that?
Sounds like chaos.
Look, this dude gets hit right in the head.
It came to a head. Some residents came out to confront them.
And that led to objects being thrown and tear gas being deployed. WGN's Andrea Medina
That's
joining
a
us now
felony.
with that
Assault on a
It sounds like chaos.
federal agent.
Yeah, Micah and Ray, and the area is quiet now, but hours ago it was filled with emotion and anger. Community members say that they came out immediately to defend their community and to also send a message to federal agents that they will not be intimidated. Surveillance video from a neighbor's home captured the moment a federal chase spilled into the streets of Chicago's East Side neighborhood.
Oh, did somebody get hit right there? or somebody fly out the vehicle.
Be intimidated.
There's someone on the ground right here.
While we were waiting, other ICE agents had identified a vehicle with 5 illegal migrants, and watch what happened when they go to try and make the arrest.
All right, go ahead. We'll take it. Come on, let's take it out.
Look, now you have all the protesters coming. He's not there. Like all the protesters showed up. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Jeez. There, those two right there. Those two right there. That kid right there, that kid, you got it right there.
Obviously illegal.
Please. They let me hit our car. So if we had like more people, she would have got arrested.
Really? Yeah, 'cause multiple people hit the car. All the people jumped out of the car. They all started running. 5 different people, 5 different ways. They didn't catch any of them. They're running right now. You got a bunch of people following us. We didn't get the guys, but we did get their car keys.
Yes, sir. That's what we did get.
So they won't be able to get back in their car.
Yes. And either we'll try to get it to Elgin Police Department to notify them. We'll take it from there.
And how often does that happen when you guys hop out on somebody, then they all get loose?
We normally try to track them, and then if we don't catch up to them, we'll normally try to go back to see if there's any type of identification that they that fell out of them. And we'll try to get the keys out the car.
Man, those protesters, they started hitting. They hit the car multiple times, and they even snapped one of their wooden poles on the car.
Yes.
So let me get this straight. It took a federal judge to tell ICE and Border Patrol agents in Chicago to finally wear body cameras, not because they wanted accountability, but because the violence got so bad the courts had to step in. Sources confirm this came after repeated clashes where officers allegedly used tear gas, smoke grenades, and physical force, all without transparent documentation. Judge Sarah Ellis said, "Enough is enough. From now on, they'll wear body cams during operations." Why does it take a judge to make that happen? These are the same agencies that can detain people, separate families, and carry out raids, yet they fought against cameras like they were allergic to oversight. And here's the thing. If you or I lay a hand on someone, there's footage, there's accountability. But when it's government power being used on citizens and immigrants, suddenly the cameras are too complicated, too expensive, too risky. It's not about cost, it's about control. Because if every violent encounter, every abuse, every raid is on camera, they lose power to rewrite what happened. So yeah, this ruling does matter, but it should make you furious that I had to even come to this. Accountability shouldn't be a court order. It should be the bare minimum. Because when the people enforcing the law refuse to be seen, you have to ask, what are they trying to hide?
Well, y'all, this is what it's coming down to, body cams. And you know what makes me laugh? These folks are like, "Oh, you know, yeah, they're really roughing people up and they don't care about the body cams. They unalived our people unarmed on body cam. They don't care about those body cams. They'll tell you one story and the video will be completely different from their story. And as usual, the one that lied never gets fired. You know, these cops on the street that lie, they never get fired for the lie. So it's going to be the same thing all over again with ICE. They're going to tell, just like that story, they claim this illegal drove into them. But when you saw the footage, they actually hit him. He jumps out the car and runs. But they told a whole different story about what happened. Well, that's policing in America. Cops lying seems to be commonplace. It seems to be acceptable. It's always been that way. Now, look, our people have been harassed from slave catchers to cops for centuries. And they just got body cams when Obama came into office. These people have been inconvenienced for what? For the last few months or since Donald Trump been in office, and already they got body cams. So you can see it's a huge difference, isn't it? Look, y'all, at the end of the day, y'all ducking and dodging ICE and running and screaming and hollering. Why don't you just go home? Seriously, why go through all of this? Go home. Go home. Wow. So, anyway, y'all, this is all I have for this particular live stream. And right now, I am streaming here and at the same time on Facebook. Now, the only thing is, I'm trying to see if I can get set up to stream even over on TikTok when I do these live. So, hopefully, maybe in the next week or so, I'll be able to do that. So, anyway, thank you for being here. And thank you for your support. Jeffrey Massey, thank you again for the super sticker. And EW49, thank you for your super sticker and support for my channel. I deeply appreciate it. So everybody have a wonderful day. I'll see you on my next live. Shalom, family.